Hello and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam and
Are we in an opera?
uh,
Was that an operatic
I wanted
version
to
of
do
that?
something a little different, and I started out, and then it got crazy, and then I don't know, James. What do you think? Did you like that
Gave me
version?
opera vibes. Yeah, I like it.
I feel like every time I do it, I'm gonna try like a little
Spin.
spin on it, just to mix it up. Keep people on their toes.
Why not?
And you need to finish. You can say
James.
your name and then you can comment on my song.
Can I?
People don't know who you are.
True.
How are they going to know who's sitting next
They
to me?
wouldn't know.
They wouldn't.
They would know.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great week. We've got a great show, as always. And if you're watching on YouTube, you might notice, wow, they look so stylish and so fashionable and cool. What are they
most
wearing?
importantly, comfortable.
And most importantly,
literally, this
comfortable.
sweatshirt is the most comfortable sweatshirt I have now.
Thank you. And I couldn't pay you to say that.
No.
One thing about James is he'll be honest, whether you like it or you don't. And aren't they? Okay, hold on. I need to fix just so people can see what this says. Yes. So if you're watching, and you've probably seen too, again, if you follow on Instagram, I've been teasing a little bit that we have merch coming out finally. I don't think people realize sometimes how much work some stuff goes into these things that you're like, oh, it's probably so easy. Literally months. I've been planning this since last late summer. And now it's finally coming out, just to kind of get put into perspective.
But I don't want a sweatshirt in late summer. This is the perfect time to get a sweatshirt.
Exactly. Well, I was trying to get it done in time for the holidays, but our house flooded. We got hit by a cyclone. My cat is dying. We got a new dog. Life
Normal
events.
life things.
So it is coming out. Mark your calendars. It's coming out Thursday, January 18th. Obviously, I'll be doing some reminders on social media.
That's this Thursday.
That's this Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will open. And how it works is, especially for something like this, where it's we just, you just never know what the need could be for it. So we kind of do a week and a half. We'll see how things go. A week and a half pre-sale of the items. So everyone obviously will put in your orders, and then we'll close it after normally week and a half, 2 weeks, depending on again how things go. And then we'll ship them out right after that. So they normally will get to you in about 3 to 4 weeks after you purchase or you go and place your order online. And I will put up all the information, but basically if you go to SamanthaRamsdell.com, and then there'll be a merch tab. So it should be SamanthaRamsdell.com/merch. And you'll see I am wearing Lavish. So we have two kind of logos. We have Lavish, which I'm wearing right now. And then we also have Weird and Proud, of course. And we basically have two color schemes. There's this purple, pink, blue for Weird and Proud and Lavish. And then we also have a green blue. So just fun, springy kind of late winter colors. And we have them in sweatshirts and t-shirts. And these sweatshirts, I think James, obviously, as he said, are the most comfortable sweatshirts. They're crew necks, and they really are
they're soft.
The inside
and light.
is so soft.
It's the good combination. When you
they're
have
not
that
super
sweatshirt
heavy.
that you love. And if you haven't noticed, if you watch any of Sam's stuff, I usually always have the same 2 or 3 hoodies on.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable.
Yep.
This sweatshirt is definitely getting thrown into the rotation, not just because it's branded, but because it's worth it.
Exactly. Yeah, so that is coming out Thursday, January 18th. Again, I'll be, follow along on Instagram for all the reminders and the links and all the things. And we can't wait to see you guys in them. This has been something that, again, has been a long time in the making. And we had done ones maybe 3 years ago when we first kind of had done our first round. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we did do an earlier season of Weird and Proud in the middle of the panorama. And we didn't have the video aspect, which of course people really liked. And, I really didn't know what I was doing half the time and trying to edit everything. So we were like, all right, if we're going to do this, we need to really invest in it. And took a year and a half off. And we had a little line when we first did the podcast, that first season. I called it season 1. But This is all brand new, all redone. These are like, I actually had professionals do it because even the first time I did it, I like did the logo myself. So I can't wait for you guys to see it and wear it. And just thank you guys for the support. I know a couple of you guys have been asking about this. So very excited. How you doing, James? This is a big day for you. I know if you guys have noticed, we normally record the podcast on the weekend just to like, catch up on all the things. And James is very excited because he has a big day today.
Green Bay Packers playoff football. I was trying not to talk about it till she did, but now that we've talked about it, yes, I'm very, very, very excited.
I know that you were just holding it in and you just want at least
Packers.
just say the word Packers.
Yeah,
so here's
pretty
your
much.
chance. Yep. He said it. It's done. It's out there. And James, there is like a certain level of just like, I know this is like your time, like it's once a year where you get to watch your fucking phone on the table at a restaurant because it's playoffs.
As you're filming me with your phone,
that's
which you made fun of for yourself. And I thought
said,
that was,
it's
I
ironic
thought it was
because
funny.
I'm on my phone taking a picture of you on your phone.
I laughed at your own joke, but you're right. I don't act like a civilized human. I will watch football I don't care if it's a fancy restaurant.
Yeah. Not that was that fancy, but but it was just like, it's like an iPad kid. And people are saying I do need to get you like an iPad and little headphones. So
the phone's so much more discreet. I can hide it.
Yeah,
easier.
It's so discreet that you have it propped up on your drink.
Well, maybe I wasn't really hiding it last night. No, definitely wasn't hiding it.
No.
I wanted it on in case any guys walking by needed to check the score. I would want them to do the same for me.
Well, they can check the score by easily looking it up. But you know what, James? It's neither there nor here. You can have, who knows how long the Packers will make it past today.
Tough one. Gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be a tough one. But yeah, we're happy for James. We're happy for the playoffs, and we can't wait for it to be over. So
what did you think of all the Taylor Swift posts from the Chiefs game last night?
She's just doing her thing, girl. She's supportive. She does. Obviously,
did you see all the dancing at the end and all that? I'm sure you did.
Like, and people make fun of her. She's just having a good, like, can she have fun? Can she
can
watch her boyfriend's game? Like, I don't get why people get so mad about it.
And you can tell that she's
having
genuinely into it, wanting to be a fan, just no press, no nothing. She just wants to be a fan.
And people really commenting like she's so annoying. It's like she's annoying for having fun. Like, what is she supposed to do? Just sit there and be miserable?
You know what? The people that are being annoyed by her, they are the annoying ones.
Exact. Thank you, James. Thank you. So that's it on football. I think we've gotten it out there.
And we've put it out there how big of a football nut I am. I love it when they still show Taylor Swift. And these NFL fans that are complaining about it, no.
Who cares? Why do you care so much? Why are you so triggered?
They're not disrupting the game.
Right.
It's not like we've missed a play.
It's like either that or a commercial. Like, what do you? Right. It's not like you're missing.
Yeah, we're not missing football to show Taylor Swift.
Right. And again, she's just having a good time, and she is getting other people to come in and support a new audience. And it's like, why do you care that more people are watching like the thing you're obsessed with?
And guys, listen here. Follow my logic. I put my hand up so Sam can't hear me. She wanted to watch football last night. I didn't even have to like argue or give puppy dog eyes. She suggested football. She still can't hear this because I have my hand up. But if you're not watching on video,
you're so stupid.
You can't tell.
You're dumb. I did. I wanted to watch.
Show more Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
Even during games she's not at, I hope they just start showing photos of her.
And like show more of like the girls just being cool. Like I was like, now like I want to see Simone Biles out there shaking thing.
So again, the wide receiver, Braxton Berrios for
Alex
Miami.
Earl.
Who's that girl?
Alex Earl.
She's got a bunch. Show more of these influencers. Keep these. Keep people that aren't football fans interested in football. So the rest of us
it helps
enjoy it.
Everyone.
It really does.
It like this. I just don't get why people get so upset.
It's a very symbiotic relationship.
It is. It is. Speaking of puppy dogs and eyes.
Puppy dogs.
Yeah. Of course, keep going strong with Peach. Peach grows bigger every day. I keep joking that she's like a Great Dane, but she literally, I don't know why these people said she was a dachshund mix. I mean, maybe she does still have some dachshund in her, and obviously she has a bit to grow, but her legs, she's as tall as Prue.
We should have.
Yeah. One day we'll bring her on here, but obviously you guys can get enough Peach if you
Peach is amazing.
If you do go on my Instagram. Or I did create, like Prue had an Instagram, Prue the pup. But I just like, oh my god, it's like the content. Like literally, I just feel like it's like nonstop with content. But I know people want. Like, there are people that
Prune
do like the
peach.
Prue and Peach. So I made Prue and Peach, and I'm gonna try and get good at maybe filming some more stuff and eventually putting it over there. But so follow along, Prue and Peach, but they're doing great. Peach is again growing like crazy, but her and Prue, besties. It is the cutest thing to watch them play. It's the cutest thing to watch their bond. Like it's and Prue. I don't know if you can see, she's laying
She's
behind me in the
right
chair.
behind Sam as we speak.
Yep. And Kiara's in here too. My God, you guys, literally the drama with the animals. When you have 6 animals, I guess that's
There's
just
gonna be some drama.
something's going on.
Yeah, you're gonna have some.
Kiara strong, hashtag Kiara strong. If you guys also been watching, we've had something going on with one of my cats who's like my soul cat, like the love of my life cat, like my cat that like even it's just like a bond that's stronger than with any of my other animals.
Yes, agreed.
She sleeps with me every night. She was really like,
It's kind of been from the beginning.
yeah, because she was super sick even when I got her. So like almost like every night when I would get home from work, I would just sit with her in like in the bathroom with the shower on high with the steam, because she just had these like, basically she has these reoccurring polyps, which are basically like these like cysts that keep growing in cats have what's called like a middle ear. And anyways, long story short, she's had this issue her whole life. She's had multiple surgeries, and we're worried that it might be cancer. She's a new kind of mass that's in her throat.
I'm very happy and optimistic about how her current dose of steroids have been helping, though. That
Yeah.
gives me a lot of optimism.
Yeah, and finally, after like, it's probably been going on for a couple months now of going back and forth to my normal like primary care vet. We've been doing a bunch of different antibiotics and different decongestants, thinking, okay, maybe it's allergies, because she's just been like almost like has like this wheezing, and she's been coughing. So, we tried a bunch of different things. Nothing was working. We went to a specialist, and, $7,000 later, she did a CAT scan. She has this mass. So we're trying to be positive, but she has been, since she got home from the specialist, they've, been pumping her with the good. Uh-oh. Did you hear a bang? Something just
That
banged.
sounded like food.
That sounded like a cat.
Yeah.
But they gave her a bunch of steroids, bunch of different antibiotics to try, and she's been actually doing really well. So Kiara strong. And yeah, I'll plug too for the Instagram. Make sure you're following. I'm sure at this point, I'm sure you have to be following me. But Sam Ramsell 5. Also, the Weird and Proud Instagram is also popping off. We've had some good clips thanks to you guys. You guys and your amazing secrets. Literally, I've gotten a couple reposts. Like I saw like some other Perez Hilton. Do you know who Perez Hilton is?
He's the guy that reports for.
He was like a pop culture. Like he used to do like
He's like
when
a
blogs were
reporter.
big
Yeah,
back in the day. We've got some good reposts on some of the reels lately. So yeah, make sure you're following.
Y'all.
Thanks, y'all. Weird and Proud Pod on Instagram. And yeah, we again have a great show. We will talk about our weird watch for this week, which I think we just need to talk about anyways. We did go see the Mean Girls movie.
And also we rewatched the original Mean Girls.
And we did, yes. We were like, that was the night before we watched
Bam Bam back
Bam
to back.
Bam. So we really, knew it was top of mind. Because I hadn't seen the original Mean Girls in so long that I was like, oh, I feel like that it was a good time to rewatch it. And then, yeah, we went to the movies last night and saw the new Mean Girls musical. They are calling it. And then we also have some weird news, some, again, things I've seen on TikTok. And of course, we have some amazing weird secrets. Yay, as always. But to get right into it, James, what do you think of the Mean Girls, the musical? What were your thoughts?
Loved it.
Yeah, James loved it. You were, like, pretty engaged, like, I was nervous you were gonna be on your phone the whole time watching football, but you
I
actually were watching.
you helped let me know how you felt about that at the restaurant, so I decided to stay engaged the whole time. And the
Well,
game was kinda out of reach at that point, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
helped.
yeah, yeah,
If it
yeah.
was a
It
good
was
game, I
over.
can't tell you what would have happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
let's cut that part out. Of course I was engaged the whole
Of
time.
course. Well, so I did take some notes and I was sharing a little bit about this on social media too, but um I think the biggest thing, and again, if you've been kind of paying attention, you know that it's a musical and that it's based off of technically the Broadway show. And James didn't really know this either, but obviously they have Mean Girls the movie, then that was adapted into a Broadway show that isn't unfortunately running anymore. And the lead, who is Regina in the Broadway show, Renee Rapp, who again, like if you're not on social media, I feel like she's all over social media these days too, and she's incredible.
I
Like
did
she
not
has an
know who
amazing
she
voice.
was.
She is also Regina in this movie. And I just want to say, first of all, like I've known and been obsessed with Renee Rapp since she was on Broadway. And now everyone has like become obsessed with her over the last couple of years because she started doing more on TikTok and she's come out with like her own original music. I've known her for a while and been a huge fan of her for a long time. So, and she's amazing. And she was her voice, her and I don't want to butcher her name. I think it's Ali? Oh, it's spelled AULI
Which one
apostrophe
was
I.
she in the movie?
She was Janice.
Oh,
Her
okay.
voice was amazing.
Yes. Oh god,
Incredible.
yes.
And I was telling James, like, she was also like, I know her from she was in Moana. She's in the I mean, it was a cartoon, but she was like the voice of Moana. Her
Yeah.
voice is amazing. She's been in some other stuff too, and I know she's been on Broadway too.
You could tell she had
Amazing.
some acting chops too, like, she was
Definitely.
very good.
Definitely. So these are like the good things. I'm gonna give the good things too. The yeah, they
Spoiler alert, we're gonna talk a lot about the movie.
well, not a lot. I mean, this is are we gonna
Don't give
talk a
away
lot?
the end. No, I'm kidding.
You're so dumb. But they were amazing. The voice was amazing. If you know some of the songs, like that was the thing too, is that like the songs they did bring from the Broadway musical, but they didn't do all of them. But, the songs, there are some songs that are really good. And
I
that's my
was unaware that they did not bring all of them.
no, they didn't do all of them. The other thing I was gonna say is Damien was also incredible. So funny, like laugh out loud. He was the funniest thing about
Damien's
the
character
movie.
in the first one was like a steal
Yeah,
the show type
yeah.
character. Damien's character in this one
Kills
was
it.
a
Some
steal
great
the show
one
type
lines,
character.
some great comedic
100%.
timing. And they're
Physical humor too.
great physical humor. And then Karen had some moments that were funny. But that's really all the good I have to say about it. Anything else that you thought was good? You liked the whole thing, but
I loved, look, granted, everyone's obviously running out of ideas because everything's a reboot or a sequel,
right.
which somewhat excites me because like Ghostbusters coming out, right? So they had to do a different version of Mean Girls, so they chose to just take it and rather than do Mean Girls 2 when they were older, right? They did the musical version so
Right.
that people that wouldn't go see a
Yeah.
musical could see what it was like.
Right.
I thought it was great.
The only thing is, like, if you're gonna make a musical movie, like, I think of some of the great musical movies of all time. Greatest Showman,
Okay.
Hairspray, like, some of these amazing where it's like, it was like you felt like you were watching a musical the whole time. With this, like, you would forget that it was a musical, and then all of a sudden, it would just break into song, and you're like,
Were
"What?"
they just trying to be a movie first, maybe,
Yeah,
rather than be a
probably.
musical that's a movie?
Right, which is like, you gotta decide which way to go. Either you're gonna make a movie musical or it's gonna be a movie, and they were trying to, like, do both, it felt like.
Good observation. I'll give them a pass for being a movie musical because it definitely was a movie first
Yeah,
with
but
some good
again,
musical
it's like
numbers.
if you're gonna just randomly do a musical number, like, and it wasn't again enough. Like there was like 6 of them, so like enough time would be like 15 minutes would pass, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, "Stupid love, I didn't do it." I'd be like, "What? Wait, oh yeah, I forgot it's a musical." Like, and some of the songs like they're Broadway songs, and then they would like try and like modernize it, and it was just and Katie was not good.
You
Like,
didn't
and
think Katie was good?
no, I didn't like her. I didn't like it. I didn't like the vibes. The
I thought
vibes
she
were
did a good,
off.
yeah. See,
And her voice is not great. And it was just like, I don't know. So that was here's where all my negativity comes in. Karen was doing way too much. Like it was as if like she was like, you know, it was like a parody. You know, like it wasn't like she was trying to actually be Karen. It was like, I don't know, it was like way over the top to the point where it was like, okay, she's trying way
I
too hard.
liked some of the parts I liked about Karen's character is I think that they had adapted just because we had seen the old movie so
Right,
darn
right.
close. And Karen, whoever played Karen in the first one was phenomenal.
I know, I forget what her name is. I don't know why we can't think of it.
Um, but I thought that some of the new jokes and lines that Karen had that were slightly different from the first one,
Yeah.
I thought there were some good
There
jabs
were
in there.
yeah, she had a couple of good lines, but most of the time I was like, this girl is trying way too hard. When they did like the redo of like the animal scene, you know, like this when it was like supposed to be like how
Jungle
Katie was
vibes.
back in Kenya. Oh, it's like either just like cut it out, like just it was like this is so cringy. You know, it was just a lot.
It was a long. They did a long shot.
Yeah, yeah, they were trying to recreate it, and obviously there was a lot of stuff that they took out. Very Gen Z-defied. If you watch the first original, like I think it was kind of a good idea to watch the first Mean Girls
I think
first
it
to
was a
really
great idea to
see
do it back to back.
because there's so much stuff that they do take out and you know that just wouldn't fly
But
with
with
this day and age.
today's sensitive culture, you know
Right.
why.
Yeah. Busy Phillips was so annoying. It was not funny. And it's like again, a classic like Amy Poehler playing
It's
Regina's
tough
mom.
to play Amy Poehler.
How do you like I was like, why didn't she's best friends with Tina Fey? Bring Amy Poehler back.
Thought for sure
Because
Amy Poehler would have been
Busy
back.
yeah, that's what I was like. I can't believe why they didn't just ask Amy Poehler to be back because Busy Phillips, it was not funny, and her and Renee like looked the same age. You know, it was just like, and she was not funny. It was not funny. It was really upsetting.
I like Busy Phillips, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I like
James
the
likes Busy
casting.
Phillips. I think she's okay, but
Just
she's
from I
funny.
remember her from a lot of her older stuff. So
Yeah. And then my last thing was just like the TikTok of it all. They just tried to do so much to like make it more modern. And again, it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to do a modernized Mean Girl? Or are you trying to do a musical Mean Girls? If you're trying to do the musical, then just do it how the Broadway showed. Like, and again, I actually never saw it on Broadway.
no,
So maybe I'm wrong about it, but it's like I can't imagine that on Broadway they were like TikTok and they had all like these TikToker cameos in it, and they're like making TikToks the whole like it's just like
I think that you have to. So the reason I thought that you had to have that in there is because if you're at a high school, everyone's going to be filming everything and
right,
posting it all day long.
right,
Like
but
that just
right,
it's not realistic to have it not be there.
right. Well, okay, so then they're saying that it is Mean Girls from 2024.
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay. But then it's like, okay, then do Mean Girls 2024. Don't do a musical and Mean Girls 2024.
It's all rolled into one.
I know, but it's just like too much. You can't do it all in once. I don't know.
I
Maybe that's my opinion.
I
That's my
liked your I
opinion.
like it's good to hear that.
Out of 5 stars, I gave it 2.5
Yeah,
stars.
you
What would
did
you give it?
not. I mean, I'd say 3.5.
Oh wow. Okay,
But
guys.
I like
And it was. I think it was. It was worth a watch. Would I pay again to go to the movies? No.
you
It definitely
you
watch it
also
on
know I'm a
streaming.
huge Tina Fey fan, and the way she
Totally.
writes,
Yep.
like the way that she writes, the timing of her jokes were spot on, and some of the
Yeah.
new stuff that was in there that you could tell had her handprint on it. I thought that the way she timed some of the jokes were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. 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 There was some good, funny, comedic parts to it, but then there's some other parts that were like literally hand slapped to
I
the
think
forehead.
what you can't do is go in with expectations of what it is or
Yeah.
isn't. You
Yeah.
have to just absorb it for what it is. And if it's Mean Girls 2024 that happens to be a musical, then
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Then that's what it
Be
is.
prepared for that.
So anyway, so that was our weird watch of the week. And we really haven't like any shows. Oh, you've been watching which everyone is talking about. What's that one on Netflix that you're Fool
I'm
Me
trying
Once?
to remember the name
Fool
of it.
Me Once,
Fool Me
Twice
Once,
or
I
something.
think it is. Yes.
And you've been liking that. I couldn't get into it. The acting was rough.
The acting, I even said that to you. I said, I
Yeah.
love the storyline and the way that the writing behind it. And of course, it's a guy who's now got like three or
Yeah,
four of his
Harlan
books have
something.
been turned into Netflix
Like even more than that,
miniseries. Yeah.
probably.
And
Yeah, he's a
he's
really good like suspense writer.
obviously extremely good writer.
UK.
And but the way that they do shoot these episodes and the way, especially, I love the way that they ended them. Like they did a great job. Oh, there's a dog
There's
barking.
a dog barking. That's okay.
They did a great job in that show of flooding the end of every episode with new twists just to set you up for the next one. The way that they did it was really well
very
done.
twisty. But yeah, I've heard there's a couple good ones. There's another cult one that's out there that I'm trying to get into, but
The cult ones have
I need
become
some more
popular.
good movie, like TV show. I feel like I haven't
Crow!
found. She's sorry if you can hear Prue barking. There must be someone, and it's so windy out. The weather has been crazy. Also,
She
side
does not
note,
like wind.
she does not like the wind. Also, shout out to my Mainers out there. Oh my god, all of like the flooding craziness.
Maine.
Like, to transition to weird news, the amount of flooding in Maine right now, if you also like haven't seen it on social media, is insane. I know I like follow a lot of like Maine accounts, but it's so sad. Like, some of the beaches, like I was seeing this, I think my dad had actually put this in the group chat. There's this beach called Willard Beach in Maine, and it has like all these old, like they're old like fishing and lobster shacks from like the 1800s. And so they've been fine since the 1800s, and these recent flooding, and with the high tide and the snow melting and this crazy amount of rain, they've been
No
completely
reason
taken
to
away.
worry about climate change, though. They've only been there since the 1800s.
No. My dad keeps reminding me that we need to get right with God, because the end. My dad will just text me and be like, "Have you gotten right with God? Because things
Things
like
are looking.
great. Thanks,
Things
Dad.
are looking down.
Thanks for the panic attack." But in other weird news, your weird news for this week, and I just feel like this is like a very big social media phenomenon, that if this comes up on my For You page or like any of my social media pages, like I will watch, is the idea that like new homeowners go into their house, they start doing construction, and they find like old rooms, or like basically like there was this um it's called Stone Stack Renovation, and they were showing they bought an old apartment building. This was actually somewhere in the UK, somewhere in like London, I think. And they were completely renovating these apartments. And they found that there was like literally a basement floor and like an entire apartment that they didn't even know about in the basement. And like this is where apparently, I don't know, who knows what some of the stuff is true when it's on social media, but like they thought that maybe it was like where in the prohibition areas, like people had like been either where they had kept alcohol or kept drugs of some sort, or were growing stuff, and because it was all covered, and it was just there's this old fireplace. It was really cool. If you're on TikTok, that's this is like been a thing, and there's been a lot of like news articles that will come out and be like, couple finds an entire apartment like behind their bathroom mirror. Did you ever like see
Yes,
some of that
I've
stuff?
seen. I think it's really cool, and this stuff like this still probably does happen, but there was a lot less regulation back then. And if you wanted to
Yeah.
renovate a house, you just go do it,
Yeah.
right?
Like yeah.
And you build some of these secret rooms in because it was common to do. And if you look at a house or a floor plan from above, you can't really, you won't, walking around the house versus looking at it on a map or a floor plan,
Right.
you won't even realize that you're walking
Well,
around something that isn't there.
yeah, like people buying, like literally buying a home, getting like the floor plan, getting like the entire layout of the house, and then they just start doing renovations and find like that would just be insane. And obviously it has to be like on an old enough,
Yeah.
style house. But
Well, did you see in New York all of the Jewish underground pathways that they found?
yeah.
Which, look, I'm not against it. It's very illegal to do and dig those kinds of things out in a city. You're
Right
supposed to get
underneath the
permission
city.
to do that.
Right.
But they obviously got away with it for a really long time.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, that stuff can absolutely exist. And it
Yeah.
is definitely strange, right? Imagine if we were just digging around downstairs
Well,
and we
that's
found
like,
like a separate basement.
well, when they were even like putting in we had like our basement flooded and like our heating like all failed, and because this is just like the story of my life recently. But they, were like trying to move around some stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, what if we move around something and there's like a
Like a
door?
trap door
Yeah.
somewhere, like
And it like leads
down
like this
lower.
underground. It's kind of like my dream, because our house is old. I mean, it was built in 1907. I
And
mean,
it's a
not as old as some
super
other.
old. That field, it's just a field stone basement.
Yeah.
There ain't much to it.
Yeah. But I was like, that would be so cool. But I brought up, just because there are always so many of these. And again, if I ever like watch one of these videos, or if I ever see one of these pop up, like you're going to watch it. Like it's kind of genius. And like you might even like find a way to fake it, because if someone's like, oh my God, you never guess, we're digging, we're renovating our place, and look what we found.
Something that you could easily
Yeah, I'd
edit
be
out
like,
because you just don't walk. You
right.
pretend you're walking in one spot and just walking over.
Right.
How, but these things do absolutely exist.
But
That's
they do absolutely. And some of these you're like, you can't really fake, especially these ones where like they thought it was, I can't remember. I have to go back because I was like obviously like stoned in bed watching it. And that's the other fault, is like I watch a lot of these at night before I fall asleep. And I can't remember where what they had first saw when they opened it, but it was like either like an old doorway, or and it was like, or like they basically just took the floor out, and right beneath the floor there was a stairs going down into a basement, and they're like, what we didn't even know there was a basement. But this other video that had popped up, and this went viral because these were again in Brit, it didn't say where it is, just said a British woman in the UK. They bought this house and they were doing renovations on it, and there was a crawl space where they found like a locked cupboard. And this, again, the username is stonestack_renovation, and they're opening up, so it was basically like a wardrobe in an upstairs bedroom, to find like another crawl space behind the cupboard. And then once they go in there, they found another cupboard in there, and in the cupboard was a suitcase. And when they opened the suitcase, oh shit, hold on, the ad just popped up, of course. When they opened the suitcase, there was a doll strapped in to the suitcase, like an old doll. Hold on, I'm going to show you the picture of it. Hold on.
So possibly a possessed doll that they're hiding.
Yeah, hold on. Look at that. It's like this
That's
old style,
spooky.
and it's just like strapped in.
So how many cupboards? That's a lot of cupboards.
So there was like, so there's the cupboard in the bedroom. Behind the cupboard, there's like a
When
whole
you say
space
cupboard,
around the
do you
wall.
mean wardrobe or cupboard?
I don't. British people tell me what, like that's what it's like, a cupboard. I don't know what is a cupboard.
Well, I picture
That's
a
what it
cupboard
says.
like where we put our plates.
Oh, well, more like
A wardrobe.
a wardrobe.
More like a closet.
More like a closet.
Extended closet.
An extended closet.
Like not built into the wall closet.
Right.
That would be a wardrobe.
Right. Okay.
In my definition.
Okay. A wardrobe.
Like the Chronicles of Narnia.
That literally, that's what it made me think of, is the Chronicles of friggin' Narnia.
Chronicles of Narnia.
That shit, that was like the best book ever. Did you ever read that as a kid?
Oh yeah.
And then obviously the movie came out.
That I've definitely seen the movie, but
that was another like dream, is that one day you're gonna open your closet and you could just like go to another magical world.
One of these, and it's probably actually a British one I followed. He was whatever. It's just a random one, and I could probably never find it again. But he's like, my grandpa has a gateway to Narnia, and it is, you walk through the cupboard, and it's obviously a very rich house, right?
Yep.
And you go in, and his grandpa has his own back bar and study and like
what?
library built behind his wardrobe.
It's like a speakeasy.
Yeah, it's a speakeasy behind his wardrobe, built into his whatever house he has. So yeah.
What?
Yep.
If we had more space in this house, I would want to make it like a speakeasy.
You want to make a speakeasy?
It is just like cool, like a secret hidden spot. You know, it's like, that was in my house growing up. We had, and I know obviously you never got to see it, but it was built by my grandfather. And there was, in my closet in the back, there was a little door, and it led like basically to a way to get above the garage.
You have told me this before.
And that was always like, you know, my parents were always like, if someone's ever in the house, or like if we ever, like, there was, you know, we had basically had like an emergency plan.
You had like a escape room.
We had like an escape room.
Dang.
Right. And like, I remember it was always like kind of nice to know that, like, you know, if we ever need to escape, if something, you know, if there's someone ever comes in the house, we have a way to like, and it would be hard to find it. Like if you weren't looking for it, like you wouldn't know where to
never
look.
know.
Because it was like in the back of my closet, like behind everything. If you open the closet, you wouldn't see it right away. So yeah. Anyways, so just some fun things fun news, because most of the news recently is just sad and depressing. And, there's only so much conspiracy theory stuff I can look up until I start to have a panic attack. I can't. And there's so much alien stuff. I feel like that's been such like a clickbaity thing. It's like whenever I'm looking up news, it's like alien life, new alien life. Here's really the types of aliens that live. And it's like,
how many of those did you used to click on so that
I
the
literally
algorithms
did.
got you?
Well, I know that's probably part of it too. But I feel like that's literally most of the news stuff that I pop up. But anyways, anything else, James? Anything? What do you see on your social media? Here's the thing. Yours is probably football and
the fantasy
cute
football
animals.
social media has slowed down significantly.
That's true because it's really fantasy's pretty much
been
over,
done.
right?
Oh, very over. Very over.
It's sad. R.I.P. I'm so sad
okay.
about it.
That's okay.
Are you gonna?
I can tell you're broken up. You've helped me through these tough times. I'm trying to think if I did see anything, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well,
maybe later in the episode I'll just chime on in with something.
Yeah, well, you always can, James. You always can. And I think it's about time that we get into really our favorite segment. And this is secrets, weird secrets, where you guys send us in your weird secrets, embarrassing stories, something weird that's happened to you. We've been getting a lot of amazing dating stories or hookup stories that are really just knocking it out of the park. I mean, and it also too, like, some people are like, why do people, of course you get comments on the reels, on the videos. It's like, why would people say this? And it's like, you know what? At the end of the day too, we all have been through something similar. Maybe not that, but a moment where you're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I can't imagine like anyone else going through something like this. And then you hear stories like that and you're like, oh my God, like it's relatable. And it's just nice to know that, you're not the only weirdo out there and that we're all doing weird shit and that we all have a poop story. We all have an embarrassing hookup story or dating story. So fuck off to all the people who have shit to say. Right, James?
It was well said.
Shut up. Shut up, James. As a reminder, as I pull up the secrets, that you can also call in
SpeakPipe
to SpeakPipe.
SpeakPipe. Did I miss it?
Speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod. Again, it's always anonymous and you can record up to 1 minute 30 seconds. It'll be in the description of the podcast. It'll also be in the link in the Instagram bio of Weird and Proud Pod. And if you really, really, really can't say it out loud, or for whatever reason you think people are going to hear your voice, you can always message it to me on Weird and Proud Pod on the Instagram. We've gotten a couple great, and we do obviously prefer when you guys call it in, just because it's funny to hear from you.
It's so much better when you tell your story.
Yeah. Totally. So with that being said, James, are you ready for our first voicemail? All right, here we go.
Hi, Sam and James. I love you guys so much. You're the best, and you put out the best content on the internet right now. My name's Tiffany. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I have 3 things about poop. The first one is, ever since you talked about closing the lid when you flush, I now have a fear of poop flying in the air, so I always close the lid when I flush, even when I pee. The second thing is, I can usually get it in 2 wipes. You had an expert say that after you poop, you can get it in 2 wipes, and I can confirm I can do that. I usually do a courtesy 3rd or 4th wipe just to make sure it's clear. But even when I have diarrhea, I can usually get it in 2 wipes. And I'm with Team James on this one. I scrunch my toilet paper instead of fold it. Go James. And last thing, I like feeling my dog's poop when it's in the bag. So I used to take my dogs on walks at the RV park in this little mountain town called Payson, Arizona. And when I'd walk them and pick up their poop in the bag, I like to feel their poop in the bag to check to see if they were healthy. I have 2 golden retrievers and they take big poops, and that was also kind of satisfying to feel the big poop in the bag. Anyway, come to Phoenix, please. We would love to see you. I'm sure you have a lot of fans in Phoenix. So come visit us, and we love you.
I am obsessed with that voice.
Sounds like a wise woman.
Sounds like a wise woman.
And not afraid to say who she is. SpeakPipe can be anonymous, or you're Tiffany from Phoenix and you don't care.
From Payson, Arizona.
And you just don't give a shit. Pun intended.
You can find her in the RV park, feeling her dog shit in a bag. Tiffany, I love you. That was an incredible voicemail. I love that you had a couple notes that you needed to hit and you were ready to go through each one.
I also check our dog's poops in the bag to make sure they're healthy.
What happens if there's a hole? Is my question.
I've never run into that.
No?
Okay. I'm very careful.
I'm always afraid that if I'm going to squeeze it too hard and then shit's going to be all over my hands.
I'm not like gripping the thing.
Death grip.
And I don't need to do it more than once, like one or two quick little checks. But I do like to make sure that everything
feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it isn't like, it's not like I check it later because I missed checking it, right?
Right.
I'm also obsessive with when I do pull the bags, a poop bag out.
Yeah.
I make sure that thing is like, has full integrity and no holes.
Full integrity.
Yeah, I'm checking that thing out. No, I don't, because I don't want to carry around a poopy bag that's got holes in it.
Yeah. No, that's
I
a
always
good thing to
check
think about. But like, what consistency? Like, if you felt like something in the poop is what you're looking for, like making sure it's smooth.
Just make sure it's right consistency, not like we can see it if it's too runny.
Right. Well, that's what I'm like. What can you not see that you need to feel in the poop?
I'm just gonna check it out.
Okay, that's great. Good to know. Yeah. Also, yes, as a reminder, if you haven't, this was a couple episodes ago, but we went over like there's a poop doctor who talked about like some of the healthiest poop habits. And yeah, they said you need to have all your poop wiped in less than 2 wipes. No more than 3 wipes. You shouldn't be wiping your butt.
Seems aggressive to me.
Which is too aggressive. Also, we have a bidet, and like,
oh yeah, with the bidet, how we guys feel about clean bidet right away.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really even need to wipe it. I mean, if anything, I just use it just to dry, so I'm not
dried off.
Poopy water everywhere. But you need a bidet, is what I'm going to tell you. And yes, always put the toilet cover down if you ever like again want to like trigger yourself or like make sure that you never want to leave the toilet seat up, is watch the video on the toilet sneeze, and you will never want to put the toilet seat.
Watch the Mythbusters episode if you really want to dive in.
Totally.
Because they actually they find the bacteria.
Yeah.
They have like I don't think it's illuminating. I don't think it's a luminescence, but now I'd have to see it.
Yeah.
There's a way that they test for it. And it might have been like a black light situation.
Probably.
But they did something good. And
it goes like all over your bathroom.
It goes way
like,
further than you think.
That's why they're like, don't put your toothbrush out.
Our toothbrush is in a closet.
Yeah. So that's so funny. I was cracking up. Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Great job,
thank
Tiffany.
you. Yeah, that was a great episode. Go back and make sure you guys are educating yourself on butthole health, because it's really important. As a Gape girly, as a big Gape girl, it is my responsibility and my duty to remind you how to clean all of your gapes. You're welcome. It's the least I can do. All right, James, are you ready for the next voicemail?
Prepared.
All right. Here we wait, did I? Okay, sorry. Here we go.
Hey, this is the sex ed teacher with a update on the whole guy punching a wall. And we punched the wall as he came because it was the first time he had ever came from sex naturally. So like not by his hand, through watching a porno, and he screamed like, this feels so good, and then just hand through the wall. And I know they had like some building coding issues with like his room onto the dad's room. So maybe that's why his hand could go all the way through. Maybe he just hit like that exact sweet spot and that's how it happened. But his dad was also an odd human being. And he would always play metal music when we had sex. And one day the dad told him like, yeah, I know when you guys are having sex because of the music we play. And so the dad just happened to be there. Well, later that week, they also had a swimming pool in their backyard, and we were out in the swimming pool, and I was in my swimsuit. And the dad came up to me with a $100 bill and said, hey, next weekend my guy friends are going to be over. Maybe you want to come back and use the pool. And I told my boyfriend, and I was like, hey, your dad just offered me money and asked me to do this. And he goes, well, did you take the money? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a broke college student, but I'm not going to do this and for your perverted dad. And he like grabbed a frame off the wall, broke it in two, and was like, my dad's not a pervert. And then we broke up. So that family had some things going on. And he got into porn for a little bit. And this was like long before like the whole OnlyFans game. And now he works at Disneyland. So just the things people do. Any hoots, have a great holiday season.
This was a couple episodes ago where this girl had called in, sex ed teacher, hilarious, and her boyfriend or some guy she was hooking up with at the time like could not get off unless he was watching porn. And so she talked about, she was like, I kept begging him, for just not watch it. And finally, he came not watching porn and punched a hole through the wall. And so James and I were like, was he, I had a couple questions. And she said he punched a hole through the wall into the room his dad was staying in. So we're like, so he punched a wall or punched a hole. Anyways, so she was explaining what that meant. So if you missed that, that was a couple episodes ago. Hilarious story. And hilarious follow-up. And just like quite a turn of events, that really kept me guessing till the end.
There was a lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack.
But it was an exciting unpacking
But
session.
it was very exciting to unpack.
There was a lot in there, but I was very intrigued with what was coming out of the suitcase, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's coming next?
What's coming next? And now he
the
works at
$100
Disneyland.
bill pool thing.
Yeah, that is bizarre. Yeah, that's quite an interesting family. They got over there. Do you ever talk to them anymore, I wonder? Have you sent another?
And it's funny that she goes from, and this was before OnlyFans, but he was watching porn, and then she skips right to, and now he's working at Disneyland.
And now he's working
to just look. I'm sure there's some wonderful people that do work at Disneyland, but I'm sure, like a lot of things, there's some creeps that work there as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that is a great follow-up. Thank you so much. And glad you're out of that situation. Sounds like it's probably for the best.
Probably a very healthy choice to make.
All right, James, are you ready for the next one?
Prepared.
The last secret. Here we go.
Hey, Sam and James. Love you guys. Love the pod. I have an embarrassing story. One day when I was 19, I was at home with my boyfriend at the time and my chocolate lab, who was 6 months old at the time. My boyfriend and I do the deed, and for some reason on this day, instead of throwing out the condom immediately, he takes it off and leaves it beside the bed to throw out later. Gross, but whatever. We hang out for a while, then we get up. He can't find the condom. I look around, I can't find it. Where the hell did it go? Until we both realize in horror at the same instant, the dog. So we run around looking for her, find her in the living room. She's just standing there with her ears perked up, wondering why we're freaking out. I start panicking. My dog's going to die. I Google and learn that giving a dog hydrogen peroxide will make them vomit. So I do that. 15 minutes later, she vomits up the used condom on the living room floor. Story equally as scary, disgusting, and hilarious. The embarrassing part comes about a month later. I'm at a retreat with a group of a bunch of different people. And at breakfast one morning, in my dumb 19-year-old brain, I think everybody will find this story hilarious and it's totally appropriate to share during a meal. So I start telling this story to a table of a bunch of middle-aged people. And I start noticing the different faces of horror as I'm telling this story. And it ranges from disgust, discomfort, pearl clutching, secondhand embarrassment. And I just slowly stop talking as the smile slowly starts fading from my face, just perfectly mortified. Yeah.
First of all, you're a great storyteller.
Did you finish the story? Like, I hope at that dinner situation that she finished the whole story.
I mean, I would
even if
think,
you're telling a terrible story and you know it,
yeah,
you got to finish.
Yeah. We've learned that lesson a bunch of times. Luckily, it hasn't been anything that like we're scared that she's gonna, the dogs are gonna like actually get stuck. But like Prue's eaten some underwear. It's more that like she just chews on it and destroys it. She doesn't really like swallow it. They love socks, but that is
That's next level.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like dogs are so gross in that way that like they love
stinky smells.
Stinky ass smells. Like if we have dirty laundry, the dogs go friggin' nuts. You know, now we say dogs because Peach is in there because she loves dirty socks. But it does make me nervous that like, they're gonna try and eat it because it's like they love it so much that they try and swallow it. But yeah, dogs, I mean, that is the one thing. That's what's tough too with Peach is it's like we have to constantly make sure there's not stuff that like she will swallow on the ground.
Prue's been so good since she got older. Like we trust Prue.
Yeah,
I fully trust Prue to not eat stuff she shouldn't be, as long as it isn't stuff that has our smell on it.
Well, again,
That's the
it's
difference.
like we have to like keep our closets like locked.
I can't have like a sock laying on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Prue,
Yeah.
but actually I have, and Prue doesn't do much with it. But now with Peach again, we got to
yeah.
re-puppify things.
Puppify. But also like, why would people like get grossed out? Like that's just like if you have dogs, like those must not be dog people, because if you have dogs or especially
that'd be a
puppies,
normal situation.
that is like, yeah. I mean, the only thing is that you didn't throw it out.
Yeah,
immediately.
and again, there's
that would be the only thing.
I mean, is that like a trophy situation?
Yeah,
like
why
are we leaving that thing out?
But at least your doggy was okay. Good call on the carbon monoxide, hydrogen peroxide.
There we go.
Yeah, I had to do that with Romper when we
you told me about Romper.
He got into like a thing of brownies. Anytime like chocolate, that's always not fun to do because the dogs also like hate it, but it does make sure they throw everything up. Hydrogen peroxide. It's good to know. It's a good tip for the doggies if your dog ever eats anything.
Very much,
and it doesn't hurt them, and they will throw all of it up. But it's always good too to make sure you go to the vet, make sure that you get all of it out, because you don't want to mess around with that stuff because that gets wrapped around something, especially like rubber. Not good.
The intestine, yeah.
But amazing story, great storytelling. That's why, like, it's just we love to hear the stories from you guys. But I do have a couple other good write-ins too, and I'll try and sprinkle those in. But again, as a reminder, you can call in too.
SpeakPipe.
That's speakpipe.com/weirdandproudpod. I'll put it in the description. You'll find the link on the Instagram bio as well. But we love your secrets so much, and we love you guys so much, and you guys crack us up. We hope that this just makes you feel like you're not alone. You're not an alone weirdo. We're all a little weird, and we're proud about it. And as a reminder, you can get your weird and proud and your lavish merch this Thursday, January 18th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going live. I will be posting reminders. But it's comfy, it's cute, and we can't wait to see you guys in it. Anything else, James, that you want to tell the people?
Go Packers.
Oh my God.
I've been
God
very
bless
distracted
America
today.
Yes, he's very excited for the big game. So without further ado, we'll let you, James, go watch your Packers. Hopefully they win. Good luck to you and your team. Big day.
Very excited.
We love you guys. Hope you have an amazing week.
Love you, weirdos.
We'll see you next time. Love ya. Bye.